Ciao, homie.
Before we get started with today's topic, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy, the best plugin for Chrome to get advanced analytics, keyword explorers, a thumbnail generator, health reports, bulk processing, and a whole host of other features for those of you YouTubers looking to slash all of your administrative time and become really efficient with putting out quality video. I put a link in the description below. Check them out. They have a free version and a ridiculously cheap upgrade to the pro version. It was $9 a month last time I checked. So check out and enjoy TubeBuddy. So now on with today's topic. What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to My Block's Strongest Man, where we discuss how to use implements all around your home and on your property, even if they're not traditional weights, to get in that daily workout. Remember, burning some calories is better than burning no calories. So today, I wanted to talk about not how to use really big hair to get noticed on YouTube. That's just a happy coincidence. But I wanted to talk about more tales from a YouTube newbie. And today's discussion is making sure everything is on before you start recording. So I know that sounds super obvious, and maybe I'm just not as skilled or attentive as other YouTubers, but I've messed this up at least 3 times. And so I thought, hey, it's worth getting on here, even to say an obvious thing, to make sure somebody puts this on their checklist to-do item and take care of it every time. So right now, as I record, I have 3 sort of things going on, 3 pieces of hardware. I have my laptop, I have my mic, and I have my DSLR camera. So I have to be sure that all 3 of them are on. Well, the laptop's obvious because you can see a big screen and you can tell whether it's on or not, right? And the reason why I'm using the laptop is I have my microphone connected into the laptop. And so the thing with the Blue Yeti mic, and maybe it's my combination of items that I'm using together, or maybe it's the mic itself, but when you plug the USB into your laptop, which on my setup disables the speakers of the laptop, I can't hear playback at the same time as I can record. But when you plug it in, it powers on the Blue Yeti mic, but by default it is muted. So there's a little mute button, and I'll pop up an image of that right now so you can see what that looks like close up. And it's not obvious unless you're reading instructions on whether blinking red mute button means on or means off mute, right? So with some experimentation, it came to me and I was able to come to the conclusion that blinking red light means the microphone is saying, I am muted. Press me to get a solid red light, which means not muted. Red versus green might be a better indicator, Blue Yeti, but hey, I'm going to deal with what you have presented to me and make sure that I am more attentive, and that's the purpose of this video, making sure your stuff is on before you start talking, because I'm looking straight into the camera now and not necessarily down at my laptop to see whether Audacity is recording anything from me or not. Right now it is, and that's because I've set up the microphone correctly and made that a checklist item on every video that I begin to make sure I check before I start talking. So again, take a look at that image and you can see blinking red light mute. I press it, solid red light on the mute button means unmuted, ready to record. So the other piece of equipment I have, of course, is the DSLR camera, and as you can imagine, it is pointing at me. I am the subject of the video, and therefore I am not behind the camera seeing what it is shooting. So what I usually do is, as mentioned in previous videos, and I don't like touching my equipment because then I won't know where it's pointing when it's taking the video. So I leave the camera on the desktop tripod where it is, and I physically lean my head back over and look at the screen on there, not the viewfinder obviously, but the larger screen to see what it sees. I stick my hand out as far as it can go, and I hold down the focus so it can focus on my hand, which is more or less where my head's going to be when I sit in the chair. And that's how I am trying to improve the focus in my newer videos as opposed to when I was still learning on my older videos. And so once I think I have the focus, I hit the record button. Again, this is behind a camera, so I'm reaching back and looking over it to see where that is and pressing that, and I'll pop up another image for you here where I'm pointing out making sure that it is now recording. So on my particular DSLR camera, I use the Nikon D3100, which is now discontinued. And if you look at my description, I put in links to a bunch of other great options. And as I learn about more, I'll put them in there as well. But what I do is I lean over, I hit the record button, and look over onto the other side of the top of the screen to see a flashing red indicator indicating that my camera is in fact recording. So the other thing to keep in mind, I don't know if this happens on all DSLR cameras, but on mine, it has a 10-minute video maximum time limit. So if your recording is going past that, it's going to shut off. If you feel like you're going to do a video longer than 10 minutes, try to be around the camera every so often. So right now, I am 2 to 3 feet from my camera. I can hear the shutter switch off when it gives up after 10 minutes and stops recording. If I'm doing something outside where I'm running away and toward the camera all the time, I want to try to be around the camera every couple of minutes or every minute or so I can hear where I am and the timing. And that way I know that it's shut off, and I can just start a second video and splice them together in open shot later. So no big deal there. So again, I just wanted to jump on here today to tell you some more tales from a YouTube newbie, tales from a YouTube newbie, of my woes and things that have gone wrong for me and made me have to re-record things. So again, number one, make sure, obviously, your computer's up and running. Number two, make sure your mic is plugged in via the USB to the computer and that whatever muting indicator you have on your mic is unmuted. And you may want to even test it by turning on Audacity or whatever recording software you're using for audio and make sure you're seeing some equalization, right? Some pickup of your sound and not just a flat line. And then number three is, of course, your camera. Make sure that when you hit record, you make sure and take a quick glance at the indicator on the screen to make sure it is in fact recording you before you go back and sit down in the portion or stand in the portion where you will be recorded. So those are my tips for today. Always check that your stuff is on before you get going, and you'll have a lot less frustration and a lot less re-recording in your videos in the future. So thanks again for joining me on my blog, Strongest Man. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a tremendous amount. Like this video, share it with everybody you know. I really would appreciate that. And remember to hit the bell button to get all notifications of my great content that's coming out every other day now. So my schedule is every other day at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Those are my releases. You can depend on that. Right now, I'm pre-recorded and scheduled releases for at least 8 to 10 days in the future, so there should be no disruption as I continue recording more. So again, that's every other day, 10:30 a.m. Check it out, depend on it. And of course, until next time, ciao, homie.